Okay, Jacksonville. It's so good to be back. This is Bernadette over here trying to stay cool in this hot, humid place called Florida. I said I wasn't going to complain because considering where I've been living geographically, Chicago and in Detroit, growing up as a kid, high school, nah, I would rather have the heat than ice, the snow, and the cold. When I was in Illinois in year 2000, what, when did we leave? 2008. I think that was the coldest winter I had experienced. And freezing ice where your whole car is covered in a sheet of ice and you can't get in, or snow is up to your waistline. Look, I'm only 5'5". Okay, snow at my waistline is I'm almost buried. Okay, but that was a lot of snow. I think that year, that snow hit so fast, that storm, that blizzard hit so fast, it shut the city down. Look, I'm too old for that. Anyway, ladies, this one is going to be for you. This is our series that we are starting to enjoy 15 minutes of dynamite insight. We talk about random things that are dealing with life and issues, and sprinkled with truth and reality, Bible truths, and hopefully we are able to kind of help you understand some things. Let's laugh about some things. Let's talk about some things. Let's think about some things. Today we're going to talk about the nachos complex. Yeah, the nachos complex. Now let me help you with that. The he is not yours complex. I'm talking to women that have decided to allow a person, a man, to tell them stories and lies about their love, so called, pledged to them. And this man is married with children. Okay, he got had no kids. The joker is married. And he's sitting up here in your face trying to have a relationship with you. And you, some kind of way, have bought into his lie that he's leaving his wife because she ain't treating him right. She can't love him like you do. You make his world go round. You the ice cream in his cake, on his cake. You the sugar and cream in his coffee, or whatever way he take it. And you some kind of way then sidetracked all those red flags that was just running you down, trying to tell you, hey, that's not yours. Yeah, I'm talking to us. Ask me how I can talk to you about a married man not ever being your man. First of all, if God has anything to do with it, you will never see that relationship come to fruition. I will tell you why in a little bit. But I can talk to you about the married man syndrome. And I can also talk to you about why, for some reason, it seems like, have you ever been where you've been in a situation and in your life and you're still single, you really want to be married, and you keep finding that yourself involved with the same kind of man, even though he's different. He's a different man, but he's the same kind of man. This guy over here looks like he's gonna be all right and walk like he's gonna be all right, and then he's got a different name, and then you break up with this one because you find out he's a liar and he's married and all that kind of thing, and then you go down 6 months later and you find out that Jimmy Jew is doing it's like the same traits here, and now you're starting to ask yourself, wait a minute, why am I keep getting this kind of man in my life? We're gonna address that because there's something wrong there. I'm gonna help you with that. I've experienced that. I could talk to you. That's why I'm doing Dynamite's Insights. Just a little bit of knowledge. No judging here. We're just trying to help each other. Girl, we know we need some help. I wish I had somebody I could talk to when I was going through my drama. I couldn't really talk to anybody because people were so busy judging me. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. Everything I did was wrong. It was my fault. It was you didn't appreciate it. You didn't do this and you didn't do that. And we don't like you anyway. And where'd you come from? And how'd you get him? And you don't deserve this. Oh, I heard all kind of crazy stuff. I'm going like, where y'all been? And who is y'all talking at me? And I'm trying to figure out the stuff myself. And you sitting up there talking in my face about what I don't do and what I ain't because you simply got a problem with me. You don't like me yourself. You wanted my man yourself. Hello. Anyway, let's talk about it. Got 10 minutes. First of all, a married man is never your man. He can never be your husband. Church women, wake up. God is not going to give you a revelation, a dream, or a prophecy that a man that's married is yours. If somebody step up to you and lay that lie in your face, you need to take that lie and throw it back in their face and cast that devil out and get delivered. Because God is not going to destroy a situation or institution that he has ordained when he says, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. He's not going back on his word, his promise, his ordinances, his ways, his laws. He's not making concessions for you to commit adultery because you're the favorite child and you blessed and highly favored. Oh, that's wonderful. You are not that. You are none of that. The rules apply to all of us. God's word is do not commit adultery. Now, let me tell you why he's not yours. I had a personal experience where this woman was fighting for her husband. Now, I didn't know that the man was, well, let's back up. When I met him and we started talking and sharing, now I was single, have gone through separation, and my divorce was imminent. There was no questions about my divorce. However, now, in God's eye, until that divorce was final, I was still married. So quite frankly, even to entertain the idea of being with somebody else was committing adultery on my part. And then on the part of the man that was trying to get with me. Let's just be real here. But okay, I already knew I was only going so far in a relationship because I didn't want any drama and I'm trying to separate. And here again, that's not a good rule to jump from one relationship to the next, especially it's important that we get healing when there's issues between relationships, whether it ends in divorce or not. You got to take out some time and heal. It is not good at all for a woman to go from one relationship to the next within 30, 40, 60 days of each other. I personally know a person like that, and she's a miserable person. She's really heartbroken. Her heart hasn't had a chance to mend. She needed to go and have her heart to be shut down for repairs. But seriously, that's not a good place. So if you find yourself doing that, you really do need to ask God to help you, give you some strength to shut down, not shut people off and hate men for the rest of your life and all men are dogs. No, they're not. I don't need nobody but Jesus. Not true. If that's the case, and he never would have said it's not good for a man to be alone and set the whole thing up so a man can find you attractive, you find him attractive, y'all get together, do the wild thing, get married, do the wild thing in that order, produce babies because that's the will of God. That's the proliferation of procreation. That's the rule of replenishing the earth. Be fruitful and multiply. He give both of you sexual desires so that you can do what he intended for us to do in the earthly realm. Be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth. Okay, so anyway, you can't expect to have that kind of relationship and you haven't healed. So the whole thing is off. So what happened with me was I'm in between this now. Not long before I'm on my own again. And now I'm calling myself trying to date. And I meet this man and there's an immediate red flag. And women, we just do not like to pay attention. I know God put that instant radar in us. We know junk when we can smell and sense junk coming 20, 30 miles away, especially when you get older. And I don't know what it is with us that just refuse to see what's right in front of our face. But I sensed that and I saw it and I said, you know what, Burn, let me do this. I'm gonna stop it. Let me just stop all the flow. Oh, it's great. It's feeling great. I felt alive and wanted and desired. I felt special. And somebody looking at me, make me feel okay. And he liked me and the sparks flying, all that kind of stuff. And man of God. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, okay. The point was my red flags went up, my alert went up. That radar went off. And I said, you know what? Let me just grab hold of myself, put my own self in control, and put my emotions on hold. Bernadette, ask this man straight out. Look him in his eyes and ask him straight out before you even go on a date. Because we had talked, we was meeting and sharing, that preliminary before the actual date happens. Ask him, is he married? And so I did. And he hesitated. And I caught it and I turned away and he stopped me saying, oh, but we get a divorce. And that whole thing was just, that was a zilch. What really, and now let me just tell you, he tried to explain it for months. I was trying to hold on, hoping that what you were saying was true. We still trying to make that connect. But that whole thing changed. All the beauty of the romance died because I knew in my heart there was no way that if I'm not number one in that relationship, I'll be no number at all. You cannot have a relationship, a true heart relationship with a person that's married. Their heart is not yours. They are still tied to the individual they're connected with, especially when they have children together. They have life together. I don't care how bad it's been. I don't care how many stories he's telling you about she mistreating him and all this kind of stuff. She ain't doing it right. The fact is that they had a life together. They got kids together. They had some time together. There's a bond there. They just hadn't found a time and a way to reconnect. And then there's a God thing there because they were married. God honors marriage. So there was nothing I could say, shake, or show out that was going to change God's view of the whole thing. So it started to fall apart. And I'm glad I had enough strength and sense to walk away because I would have been even more disappointed. That was not the one time, it was another time. And before I get ready to go, I got like 3 minutes. I started noticing that as I was doing, trying to reinvent myself and get back out there as a single person, looking for somebody to be a companion, I kept attracting the same kind of junk. Kept getting married men to show up and say, oh, Lord, you're going to have to help me because, first of all, I don't want what ain't mine. A married man is never mine. And don't let that man have a woman that's a woman of God. She at home praying that God save her and her house and her children and her man and deliver him back and fix their marriage. And you, the outsider, your prayer ain't gonna be heard. Hers is. I don't care what you think about her. I don't care what lie he told you. The point is God's gonna honor that woman that's praying for her marriage to be saved. And one of y'all finna get it together. Okay, so I didn't want to be on the receiving end of God's wrath. I'm sorry. I fear God. Y'all, some of y'all like to play with the Lord. I ain't that. Okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get somewhere and sit down. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, I asked God. I said, Lord, I don't want to be trying to chase after something that don't belong to me. And the Spirit of God revealed to me, show me, listen, what the problem is not the man that you need to worry about. Is inside of you. He said, it's something in you. He said, it's something in you that is desiring that. Whatever you lust after, that's what you're going to attract. And I thought about that. I said, Lord, I don't want no married man. Why? What are you saying to me? That don't sound right. But then the Lord began to deal with me even further. He says, it's not that. It's that the flesh always want what it cannot have and what doesn't belong to it. That's coveting, being covetous. Now, that right there struck home because that's one of the commandments. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's anything. I'm wanting something that don't belong to me. So in essence, every time I put that desire there. That's like a radar. It's like a scent radar. You are attracting what's inside of you. If you keep attracting a raggedy man that's gonna beat you and abuse you, it's something inside of you got to deal with because you're sending out that signal. And that's what and honing in on it. That demonic spirit is attaching itself to your life. And you keep getting the same old thing over and over again because you never dealt with the inside of you. So my point today is, ladies, I leave you here because I know they can get real, real good. And we might have a part two on this one. Whatever is not yours is not yours. A married man could never be yours. If he's married, he belongs to someone else. If she's married, man, she belongs to somebody else. And shame on you that sit up in the church and conveniently swear and think in your mind that God is going to reward you with somebody else's husband in that church. And you sitting around waiting for the breakthrough. You're going to wait until you get through because that is not something God's going to do. Have a happy Memorial Day. God bless you guys. Wonderful. See you soon. Gotta go. Bye.